Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now we're carrying on with some of our rehouses and basically getting some of our collection back in order, back where it needs to be. It's been an enormous catch up. Now we have got today, let me just do this, this is that looked terrible, didn't it? Messy old lid. Right, what we're going to do today, you'll remember a little while ago we done our emperor scorpions, and we mentioned there that we've got some Asian forest scorpions. That's the Heterometrus spinifer, and we've had a couple come in collections, and I thought to myself, we've got one here. It's absolutely huge. It's a massive, great big scorpion. So I thought it'd make a nice opportunity to show how we deal with those. They're very, very similar to the emperor scorpion, but they have a different attitude. The emperor scorpions are they're the gentlemen of the scorpion world, and the spinifer, or the giant Asian scorpion, they tend to have a bit of a, yeah, they can be a bit naughty. They do like to hold their ground, and they can be quite aggressive. Now the stings on them, although they're not deadly to humans, these guys can give you a reasonable amount of pain should you get stung by one. Now I know many people handle them and muck about with them and all sorts of stuff. They are a particularly defensive type of scorpion. You know, they're not afraid to give it their best shot, as it were. So be careful with them. So what we're going to do now, we are going to set them up, and we're going to put this one in here. Now they do like a little bit of room, and one of the things that you'll see when we done our emperor scorpions, we put them in Braplast tubs, and that's because the size they are at the moment, they can get away with them. They don't need anything any better. But for a scorpion the size of this one, this is a big scorpion, we're going to give it a little bit more room. They do like to muck around a lot, so they are quite active. They're a nocturnal thing, so you won't see them in the daytime, but at night time you'll hear them clanging and banging about, and that is normally their pincers up against the glass where they're walking around. They're quite clumsy really when they're on the move, but they do like a bit of space, and because of the way they carry their tails, a full adult like this one is, it needs a little bit of height in its enclosure. Hence we are going to use one of these really useful rubs. Now with this we can afford to give it a good amount of substrate, because they do like to burrow when they're hiding away. So we can offer that. Let's see if we can't just tip this in. Let's go. This is just our normal potting compost. Let's just see what we got. Try not to make a mess. Right, this is just our normal potting compost, and as you can see it's nice and damp, and this is what these guys like. They do like a damp substrate. Now these are found throughout Asia. You'll find them all over the place. Vietnam, Cambodia, all over. They really are quite well spread throughout Asia. So we're going to have that there. I think we can actually add a little bit more. Give them a little bit more. Now they really are one of the most popular scorpions in the hobby. Very readily available. But that being said, they really do need a little bit more work in the hobby. And that is because, although they are massively readily available, these guys are collected in huge numbers from the wild for the pet trade, for the likes of you and me. Now you might sit and think, well, there's bloody hundreds of them around, isn't there? Well, that is exactly the same case that we had with the emperor scorpion 30 odd years ago. Now look at where we are. there is no emperor scorpions. So we really do have to sort ourselves out and start breeding these guys in captivity. I know there's a few people out there that are doing a little bit. If you end up getting one of these in that's been a wild caught one and it produces babies, you know, that doesn't mean you've bred it. You know, you've just been lucky enough to have a gravid one that's produced young. The real effort is actually getting our scorpions from subadult stage, growing them on and breeding them ourselves. We really do need to do it. I can't stress this enough. We have got to start making massive efforts to do this, because here we have a scorpion that is just like the emperor was 30 years ago. They used to collect them in their hundreds, and now we've got none at all. So we need to be doing something about it. So that's my little rant over with now. Breed your scorpions. We are definitely going to have a go here. We're going to try and do a little bit here as well. Right, so what we're going to do, we've filled our box up. It's got a nice deep layer of substrate in there. And then we're going to just put in a few bits of bark. And remember, scorpions, they will burrow down, but they like to have a little bit of contact with where they're hiding. So if it's a little bit tight in there, that's absolutely ideal for our scorpion. That's how he likes it. Now we got our bag of mixed mosses here. This is nice vibrant looking stuff. Let's have some of this. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull a bit of this out. I do love this stuff. Now don't forget, this is all what we collect ourselves as well. Absolutely beautiful. And this stuff here, this is this all helps to maintain some of that moisture. You might even find that your scorpion ends up hiding underneath it. If that's where he's happy, that's where we'll leave him be. So we're just putting a bit of this in here. Makes it a bit decorative. Gives a nice feeling to the whole thing. Makes it all nice and foresty looking. Right, that's enough of that. All we need now is a nice water bowl. Now these guys, they do actually use a fair bit of water. Now we've had others, like things like our the flat rock scorpion. That guy, never see that drink. Different type of scorpion, but we never saw him drink. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a different water bowl in this one, nice deep one, so it's got something definitely for it to go into. So what we've done is we've got our bark here. We're just going to make a little divot under there for our scorpion to be able to disappear. If I turn this around, you'll get to see it better. So we've got a little divot there so he can get in underneath there. He can also get underneath this one here. We've got our moss in here. This is going to help maintain our moisture levels. And our substrate is already damp. Now you'll notice, look at my hands, they are dirty. And this is because the substrate, the potting compost that we've used, is really quite damp. But you'll notice it's not stuck to me. So even when we sort of squeeze it and everything, see how it holds together? There's a good moisture content in that. But it just brushes off your hand. So it's not wet. It's just damp. And that's exactly how we want to keep this. These guys really do appreciate that dampness. Right, so that being said, why don't we have a look at this absolute beast of a scorpion. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it round the side here, so that I'll put this over here, so that camera lady can actually get to see what's going on. And you can see already, we are literally just about to take the lid off. And look at that. What an impressive looking beast of a thing. Shall I put that down there for a little bit? What an absolute beast of a scorpion. Look how shiny it is. It is absolutely beautiful. But look at that defensive posture. We don't see none of that with our emperor scorpions. They are so well mannered. Absolutely beautiful. But this guy, or girl, not actually sure what it is. We've not really had a look. But yeah, that is already in a defensive posture. Now, if we touch it, we're probably going to see it react in quite a strong way. And this is why you need to be careful of your fingers. Look at that. Grabbed it straight away. Now, this guy isn't hungry. He is literally just defending himself. Now, if that had been your finger, you would know about it. You see the posture there? Now, you also see the stinger on this guy. Look at that. Whopping great big stinger there. That is going to seriously make your finger ache if it gets on it. So we do need to be a bit careful. Now we're going to try and, rather than pick this guy up, we're going to try and get him to walk into his new enclosure. So we'll take him from the back. We'll try and get him to... Remember, when you've got things that are defensive, they will always come to whatever is actually giving them the grief, which is our paintbrush. That's it. That's what we want. Whoa. Steady, steady, steady. There we go. Now you can see now just how big this guy is. It's absolutely huge. You can also see down the flanks of the scorpion there, what we were saying before about the weight of our scorpion and what kind of condition it's in. This one is in a really nice condition. It's not overweight by any means. And it is absolutely humongous. Look at the shine on that. It is huge. Now that is actually, while that's walking around, that has got something like a 4 to a 5 inch gap between them claws. Look at how powerful they are. What an impressive beast of a thing this is. Now you hear that tapping on the plastic. That's its claws tapping on the plastic. And that is all we're going to hear of a night time. Is this guy literally tapping about as it starts mooching around. Now what we can do, this one hasn't actually long been in, so it's a fairly new arrival to the beastie room. And what we can do is we will give it a little bit of time in here, make sure everything is okay. And then looking at the size of this thing, I think we will end up giving it a larger home. Something just a little bit bigger. But this is okay for now. This is absolutely fine for now. I mean, look at that. That is a monstrous thing. Let's just have a little measure here and see what kind of... What we don't. We don't want you coming up here really, do we? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, you fell out. All right. Not a problem. What we can do... We'll get it to walk up here. Come on. You can just walk onto there for me. There we go. We can pop it back in. Nice and easy, no stress. There we go, look at that. I'm going to try and see how big this thing is. That is a good 7 inches laid out. A good 7 inches. What an impressive animal. I think one of the delightful things about these is literally the shine on them. So shiny. Coming up to say hello to you guys now. But we're not going out. We don't want you coming out again. Now then, so we talked about the humidity for these. They want it around about 80% humidity. So a nice moist substrate and you'll have a happy scorpion. Give it somewhere nice so that it can hide away but it also needs contact. So as we've said before, many of the scorpions, if they can feel their surroundings close to them, they like to squeeze into tight spots, and that is what will give them security. So you can see how active this guy is. They are very, very active scorpions, and they make wonderful additions to any collection because they are just so interesting. There is just so much going on with them. Fabulous things. We can try it. We could try it. See if let's give it a roach and we'll see what it does. I don't think it's not been fed. Let me just put that there. I will grab a roach and we'll see what we can do. We can give it a nice male dubia. See whether it actually is going to be interested. Right. Well, what we'll do is see if we can't get it to move over here a bit. See how it flicks its tail up? All in defence. Oh, yep, look, it's going to eat. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, what a brilliant close-up. Now you can see the mouth parts of the scorpion there. And you'll also see that, look, that is like a grabbing claw inside the mouth parts. That will literally chew that up, pass it on down. Look at the power in that. Absolutely phenomenal. As you can see there, it actually seems to have settled in quite well already. And happy to be having a meal. So when we're looking at, we spoke about the humidity, we're looking at about 80% humidity. For warmth, these guys do like it on the warm side. They certainly, we found with ours, up around about 75 to 85, and they're really cool. They love it. They do seek out the heat. As long as they've got that dampness, they'll look for the heat as well. It's really cool. Now, as we said with the emperor scorpions, we have to be careful when feeding. So you notice there, we've given this a male dubia. The reason we give it a male dubia is because it's a smaller item. So although it looks quite large in size, it actually has quite a small abdomen and everything else. So they're ideal for these big scorpions. We don't want to be giving them massive big meals because then they will end up overweight in no time at all. Now, the vast majority of scorpions that are kept in captivity are grossly overfed. So we are looking at feeding this guy maybe one good roach every 3 to 4 weeks, and this will keep this guy going. They really don't have a particularly fast metabolism, so it's very easy to make them overweight in no time at all. So always bear that in mind when you're feeding. I know it's exciting to feed them, but you have to be a little bit restrained. Now, as you look down the side of the flanks, as we said before, you can see there's a nice even gap between the top and the bottom, and that is what we're looking for. As soon as that starts stretching open, then we're starting to put on excess weight. So what this scorpion looks like now is where you want to be aiming to keep your scorpion, and then you will have a lovely, healthy scorpion that's going to live many, many years. Look at that. Even though it's got a mouthful of food, it's still on the move. Isn't that just fabulous? Such an exciting creature. Look at it. Oh, prehistoric. Absolutely fantastic. You're not going out. No, we've made you a lovely new home. Settle down. Isn't that just wonderful? You notice now some of that defensive behaviour is slowly easing off now. It's getting better. It's not so keen to grab the paintbrush anymore. And you also notice that the telltale sign is the tail. Look how low it is. It's literally just fallen back down. That shows that this scorpion is no longer feeling threatened, and it's starting to settle down. It's actually quite forceful. It's actually pushing me as if to say, look, get out of my way. We don't want you out. We really don't want you out. Be careful. There we go. Gone full circle. They can move just as fast backwards as they can forwards, so just be aware of them. But you can see how relaxed this scorpion's becoming now. Really good. Isn't that just amazing? Now, you're not going out, so give it up. Now you see there, look, we pushed it down a little bit, and you notice how the tail comes up again. He knows we're up to something. What a fantastic thing. Right, so a really interesting thing to keep. Very easy to keep as long as you follow those simple rules, and keep your humidity up. Most important, they do like it damp. Keep that going. Keep them on the warm side as well. They really do appreciate it. They love it. Bearing in mind, you think these guys come from Southeast Asia, so it is nice and warm there. He's really going to have a good time. And remember, if you're going to have one, just be careful with this feeding. And if you do get some adults, really try and breed them. We owe it to ourselves and to these guys to get these guys bred in captivity. There's so many of them around, we shouldn't need to collect any more. There's plenty out there to be doing our own thing. So give it a go. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That is our giant Asian forest scorpion. What a giant it is as well. Cool. This reminds me a lot when I was a kid. Super exciting. They always do it for me. Right then, don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And breed your scorpions. And I'll see you soon. Hey, where you going? Now that wasn't planned, was it? Look, come on. Right, here we go. As long as we stay calm, nice and gentle. You see his tail? Nice and relaxed. There we go.
Get the lid on, Dave.
Get the lid on, quick, before it does another runner. Yes, we're going to do that. Right then, there we go. Lid on. Right then. Don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And your scorpions, guys. I'll see you soon.